Good afternoon, my name is Claire Jacklin. I'm Chief Exec of the National Rheumatoid Arthritis Society. Today's event is part of a wider European campaign. The Don't Delay, Connect Today is a EULAR campaign. EULAR is the European League Against Rheumatism. That engages with all three EULAR pillars, so patient organisations, health professionals and the scientific communities. So let's take a quick sneak preview of the highlights from both of the interviews that Elsa, our founder of NRAS, did with Rain Newton-Smith from the CBI and Neil Carberry, who at the time was with the RAC.
Well, I think it's so great that we've got this report, Work Matters, to really help employers think about how they can make accommodations for their employees and their future employees who might have long-term health conditions. I think when you look at the moment, we know that 1 in 3 people of working age are living with some form of long-term health condition. And I think we've made great strides in starting to have the conversation about how employers can make adjustments.
So recruiters tell me every day that the idea that the industry is about churning a Rolodex and just matching people up, matching skills up, is long behind them. Clients are struggling to fill roles in a world of high employment, and they need to be thinking about how they can attract the best pool of talent to drive their companies forward.
I wanted to tell you about a real lady that I'm looking after at this current time. It's a 51-year-old lady who's highly qualified and works in a local authority role. She leads a team of 8 people and she's been working in that same job for 18 years full-time. She needs to commute to that job and it takes around 30 to 40 minutes for her to drive there every day. So I was dealing here with a highly skilled lady with vast experience doing a job that's important to our society, but very important to her. She described it as part of her identity. She felt she'd been abandoned by her colleagues and her employer, and this was affecting both her self-esteem and her health.
It was a stark and timely reminder to us as healthcare professionals that we need to play our part and ask proactively about work and concerns that our patients have about their job and their role. Healthcare professionals can give people the skills, belief and confidence to remain in work or return to work, which benefits their longer-term health outcomes. I think it's safe to say that the messages across the board are very clear. So what can we do as healthcare professionals? We need to be having open conversations with patients about what they want, their expectations around work, and setting goals with them. And doing that, acknowledging that work is a really important part of people's lives.
I'd been given the fit and clear by then, but they just dismissed me, and the impact that had on me at 21 was quite severe. It then sent me back into another flare-up, because who's going to employ a 21-year-old that's got a disability? I then saw a job role that was very, very similar to what I was doing previously, so I'm still within the emergency services now. I applied just at an off chance that I was going to be able to go back to what I loved, what I knew. I was helping people still, and that's what I wanted to do. So today, they have always said that if there's any time that I need off for my appointments, things like that, they will be there. And I think it's very important for an employer to see what I am actually capable of and not what I'm not.
So I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis at the age of 20 as I was just completing my undergraduate degree. So I should have been planning for life after uni, but instead was attempting to come to terms with my new diagnosis and juggling hospital appointments with deadlines. My diagnosis meant that I had to reconsider my career in festival management and opt for something that was more tolerable for my body. My second position was as an events coordinator at a local hotel. I explained that I couldn't physically set up events or serve, but I was more than capable of the other aspects of the role. Despite reassurances that I would not be expected to do these tasks, the reality was actually very different. If tasks weren't completed that were outside my physical capabilities, then I was made to fear that I would be dismissed. RA is a difficult condition to come to terms with anyway, and while some people find it difficult to talk about, I have found that being open and honest about my condition has led to people understanding more about invisible illnesses and just are generally more accommodating.
Today the business is much different, much bigger, so we're at nearly 83,000 people. We work across nearly 400 sites in the UK, but we also have partners working in, Indian partners working in India, and likewise Hong Kong partners in sourcing offices in those two parts of the world. In the last 3 years we've saved 190,000 working days for the business through a combination of fast-track access to the service, but also through that productivity improvement. Now, in terms of hard numbers, that's about £17 million. And that's the compelling piece when you want to talk to the finance director around why do we invest in health? Because we're a nice company, we've got partners that come in the business, it's morally the right thing to do, all of those things. But financially it makes sense.
To understand my condition better, it's good to talk to people who've got the condition. And that's why I came here today. I found it very, very useful.
It's been a really great experience coming along to the talk this afternoon. Having RA and running my own business is quite a challenge. There isn't nearly enough support for people that are falling out of work because of RA. There are organisations that really are starting to see the benefit of supporting people like us with long-term conditions.
I think it's really great that this is going to go out on World Arthritis Day across Europe in collaboration with EULAR to raise awareness about some of the difficulties and obstacles that patients with rheumatoid arthritis face when they're trying to carry on working alongside their condition.